Your kid's on puberty blockers?
My extended family is on puberty blockers.
How old are they, if you don't mind me asking?
They started puberty at 11, and they didn't want to have breasts. They didn't want to have... And it's a pause. It's reversible. Puberty blockers are reversible. It's a pause, but our family member has been trans since 4. Say coincidentally you felt like you were a girl, but you were in a man's body. To force you to get puberty, hair, underarm hair, Adam's apple, when that's not you, and you grow in that body, these puberty blockers allow these children to not have that body, because that body for them is death.
So the first claim, puberty blockers are reversible. How does that work? How are they reversible?
It's a pause, because what a puberty blocker does is it pauses the puberty process. There's 5 stages of puberty, and so basically it pauses it. So the minute they get off of the puberty blockers, their body continues in their biological puberty.
So out of 100 kids, how many of these kids do you think come off puberty blockers, and when do they come off of them, do you think?
The only kids that are really, that are trans and not, experimenting or anything, they go through with it.
Yeah, they stay on them.
They stay on them until they get onto cross hormones, which are not reversible.
So therefore, it's not a pause. It's just stopping puberty.
No, it's a pause because they can get off of them and continue in the regular biological puberty. So it is a pause.
So the truth is that.
But it's their decision.
Okay, so.
Right?
May I just make my counterpoint?
Let me finish for a second.
All right.
If our children want to grow breasts and hips if they're a trans boy, they have that option. They can always get off the blockers, and they don't want to because they're in the wrong body.
Okay.
And so, go ahead to ask me your question.
Okay, so sure, if a child went on puberty blockers for 3 months or so, came off, not too much harm done, right? Puberty would resume.
It would even presume if they went on for 2 years, it would still resume.
Their
breasts would start to grow.
They would have lost out on 2 years of development.
No,
like these boys that go on puberty blockers from the age of 12 to 17, for example, they end up with a micropenis for life.
Are you talking? No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Well, sure they do.
You're saying that it just resumes? And there's no damage done? What is your basis for saying that, if you don't mind me asking?
Because I work with our pediatricians, and I've worked with multiple pediatricians on that, and that's scientific evidence that they provide.
So you're not aware that these boys end up with a micropenis for life?
Are you talking about trans boys, or are you talking about biological boys?
I'm talking about males.
That get onto the puberty blockers?
That's right, they end up with a micropenis for life.
They probably want that. They don't want a penis.
No,
they want a vagina.
But puberty doesn't resume at 17. Those years are gone.
So here's what happens with the
gone.
boys. You're talking about a biological boy who wants to be a female, right? They do need at some point in time to have penile growth. So their pediatrician and their endocrinologist will work with them on that, because in order to have a successful vaginoplasty, they have to work together with their endocrinologist. Yeah, they do.
So do you know what ends up happening to these boys?
Have you met with a pediatrician?
Hold on. Let's have a back and forth here where you talk and then I talk.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Go ahead, let's do it.
That's like what we call a conversation. Yeah?
I'm aware of a conversation.
All right, everyone. You are already drinking coffee, but is it doing anything for you other than giving you a caffeine spike? Rejuvenate Coffee is different. It's science-backed, clean Arabica coffee infused with CA-AKG, a powerful compound studied for its ability to support longevity, cellular energy, and metabolism at the deepest level. That means sharper mornings, no crash, more focus, and long-term benefits that your body will thank you for. I drink it because I care about my health, my energy, and how I show up for my family, for work, my friends, and the life I'm looking to build. Oh, also, how I show up for protesters in the street. Also, I drink it because it saves me a ton of money. So many of us are spending $5 or $6 a day on coffee. That is a total waste of money. You guys, this is officially your sign to stop wasting money at that coffee shop down the street that probably hates you. Head to 1775coffee.com/Klug and try Rejuvenate Coffee today. You guys are going to love it. Also, support the businesses that are supporting our channel. I will put a link down in the description below. Let's get back in this video.
These boys, when they grow up and they have this 12-year-old's penis as a 17 or 18-year-old and they want to get the vaginoplasty done, because it won't grow anymore, they end up cutting out a piece of their colon or a piece of their stomach to form the lining of the neovagina.
Doesn't matter.
This is
It doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter?
Want a vagina. No, it doesn't matter.
You
Whatever
think that's
surgical, yeah, of course. Whatever surgical procedure they need to have a vagina to make them happy is in the medical community's decision. It's not yours.
Oh, I see.
It's our children's decision to work with their medical providers, not yours.
Do you mind if I ask you how young you believe that children should be able to surgically transition their gender or start the process? How young, in your opinion?
How
that okay?
young? So we have a 13-year-old trans friend, biologically a female who's transitioned to a male. He wasn't aware of his identity, so he started to develop breasts just before he had the puberty blockers. So now he doesn't want those breasts. So he's 14.
And he's 14 right now, and he
He's
doesn't
14
want.
and he wants the breast tissue removed from his top.
Okay. And you'd be okay with that?
I would.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they know what's best for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
My 13-year-old's pretty clear. This 13-year-old is pretty clear.
For sure.
I know. They don't go to school camps because they're embarrassed about their breast tissue because they are boys. So, but as far as like bottom surgery and stuff, like I actually think that they should be adults. My opinion.
What if the parents object to it?
Parents object to children being gay and they're still gay.
Oh, so you think this is the same thing as being gay?
Yeah, absolutely.
You think altering a child's biology, sterilizing them, cutting off the breast
It's
tissue
not
is the same thing as
sterilizing
being
them.
gay?
They're choosing
Of
to
course
not
they're being
have that body.
sterilized. Do you know who Marcy Bowers is?
No.
Okay, so Marcy Bowers is the president of the World Professional Association for Transgender Health. Marcy Bowers is a trans woman.
Okay.
Okay? Marcy Bowers did the surgery on Jazz Jennings at the age of 17, where they had to cut out some of Jazz's stomach to form his
Perfect.
neo vagina.
Whatever Jazz needs to do to have a great vagina.
Okay.
I support that.
Great. Wonderful.
I do. I
So,
support that.
A Zoom call with Marcy Bowers and Johanna Olsen Kennedy from the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles and a bunch of other specialists in the field of transgender health. Marcy Bowers, the president, admitted that literally none of the boys who went on puberty blockers at 10 or stage 2, which is the beginning stage of puberty when they start puberty blockers.
Biological boys
Yes.
or trans boys?
Yeah, boys.
You can't just say boys.
I
Are you
can.
saying?
When I talk like science, you know,
Okay,
so
then say
boys.
biological boys, because when you say trans boys,
It's kind of redundant, isn't it?
no, it's not.
Okay.
That's what this whole argument
All right,
is.
I'll play
It's
along.
your,
So
in
biological
education.
boys, literally,
Your
hold on. So
ignorance
literally none
is
of
part
the
this
biological
conversation.
boys who started on puberty blockers at 10 or stage 2, as adults, none of them have ever had any sexual function. They've never been able to have an orgasm. So do you think, my question
That's not true.
This is
I've
from
spoken
Marcy
with-
Bowers,
No, it doesn't matter.
the president of WPATH.
I've spoken with men who've had that surgery, and they have orgasms. So
men. I'm talking about kids.
I'm talking about trans
Hold
people
on.
who've had the surgery who have orgasms.
When
All
did
right.
they have the surgery?
Probably as adults. About
Let's
them
back
having-
it up.
Okay, which surgery?
Children.
I'm talking about kids who started on puberty blockers at 10 or stage 2. As adults, none of them have had any sexual function. Do you think a 12-year-old can consent to giving away their permanent adult sexual function when they don't even understand what that means?
I think you're basing this on lies.
I
don't
can show
think
you
that
the
this
video
is
right
true.
now.
That's all
I
right.
don't need to see your videos.
It's Marcy Bowers.
It's okay.
Okay.
To see it.
Okay.
You don't want to. You don't need to see it.
If an adult decides to transition,
No,
yes,
no,
they
you
have
know
some
what?
sexual function. I'm talking about when they give kids puberty blockers at 10 or stage 2.
What
when
I
they
don't
grow
think
up into
you
adulthood, they
understand-
aren't able to.
These children have very high suicide rates who are not allowed to transition.
I hear this all the
So what
time.
she's saying is I'd rather have a live trans child
Right.
than a dead whatever you're proposing. It's a life and death matter.
Yes, that is the coercive
do you have a trans
manipulation that
child?
is always used.
Do you have a trans child?
And it is true that suicidality is higher amongst this cohort. It's higher among kids with autism. It's even higher with kids with autism. It's higher among kids with anorexia. It's higher among kids
What's your
with
point?
personality disorders.
What's your point?
But with these other conditions, we don't affirm a girl with anorexia and say, yes, sweetheart, you're overweight. Let's give you
Anorexia is
liposuction.
different. Anorexia is different. Anorexia
This is the
a
only condition
disease.
in the world
This
where
is
we
not
accept
a
the self-diagnosis of a
No,
child.
This is not a disease. I'd rather have a child, a trans child, any trans child who's alive, than whatever you're proposing. It's dead, and that's
So
what the
how many of
ultimate
these kids are
argument-
killing themselves, I wonder?
Which trans children who are not allowed to transition
Yeah.
have a very high suicide
You're telling me
rate.
there's an epidemic of suicides going on?
Trans people
course.
Based on what?
and we existed and thrived.
Based
Based on
on
what?
facts. Based on facts.
Well, I
Thank
can tell you the
guys.
facts
What
if you
facts
want.
are you talking about?
I'm talking about scientific facts.
What's your basis for saying that?
When trans
Yeah.
people exist
to why?
far more